Good evening and welcome to the Radical SR8 Championship. Round 2 takes us to the Midlands at Donington Park. I am Tom Cairns in the commentary position. Alongside me is Jim Cunningham, who will share his thoughts during the course of the broadcast. After last week, Paul LeMay won race 1, Evan Bremer won race 2, and John Hutchison, the reigning champion, who is not here this evening, he won out in race 3. Of course, he could use this round as one of his drop scores. If he ever so wishes to need to. We're into qualifying. We're around about 3 minutes to go in the session. Paul LeMay is fastest ahead of Paul Crabb and Jet VC, carrying on his good form after his debut last week at Silverstone. That was the first round of the championship on the old Grand Prix configuration, with the pit straight being just before Copse Corner. After we've been to Silverstone, we're at Donington tonight. And the remainder of the calendar is as follows. We go to Imola on the 25th of August. There's to Charlotte Roval on the 1st of September. Le Mans on the 8th of September, which will be a 50-minute endurance event. Then it's off to Phillip Island down under in Australia on the 15th of that month. And it's to Sandford on the 22nd. Suzuka on the 29th. Brixton on the 6th of October. And the 10th and final round of the season will be at the same venue as where we went to last season, the historic configuration of Monza. Let's bring Jim Cunningham into the booth and get his word on how he thinks tonight is going to pan out. Jim, welcome.
Yeah, Tom, good to be back with you. And back for our second season together now with the Radical SR8s. I love this series. This is it's so much fun. And I have to say, I got really excited when I saw that final race of the season going back to Monza, historic again. That was so much fun. But, yeah, man, I think this is going to be a good race tonight. And the fact that John McCutcheon is not here kind of leaves it wide open. Somebody can jump in there and steal him a couple of wins and, you know, take care of some business when he's not around. So, yeah, I think it's going to be kind of exciting tonight.
It's worth mentioning that pros and AMs are determined after this round and will come into force from Imola onwards. And we'll know who'll be in pro and who will be in AM. Paul LeMay, carrying on his good form. He ended up on pole position last week at Silverstone for the first race. He's looking good to make it 2 from 2 so far with Evan Bremer, race 2 winner at Silverstone. Next up, we've got a couple of drivers who weren't here last week, but are here tonight. One of which is Steve Webb, who is currently in 8th position. The other being Ben Gregory, who is down at the back, trying to find a good grip on the Radical SR8. We're into the last minute. Hopefully we'll see a few more improvements from the drivers, and we'll crack on with the first race, which they'll go straight into.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of experience here at Donington. I think I did a race or two here, and I broadcasted 1 or 2. So you'll have to fill me in on the history and all of that stuff. That'll be interesting for me. I'm sure you. As always, you are well informed about these tracks, especially since you said this one is not that far from you, really.
No, it's around about 70 miles from where I am, so it's not too far to travel. I mean, I travel via public transport to get to it, but it is a wonderful circuit. The infield section, you could pretty much see everything, apart from maybe the section where the Grand Prix configuration sort of fills through the Fogarty S's, and yeah, it's a brilliant venue to go to, and you see a lot around here, particularly through the infield section of the course. You could just see it from the aerial angle on screen. Qualifying has come to an end, so let's run down on the grid for race number 1 here at Donington. Paul LeMay on pole position ahead of Evan Bremer, with Jack Veazey and Paul Crabb on row 2. Mike Bousson and David Walters on row 3 ahead of Meda de Graaf and Ben Underdown, with Steve Webb and Michael LeMay running out the top 10. The grid is rounded out by Jamie Bird, Stefan Millis, and Ben Gregory making his first start of the season tonight.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys I haven't seen here race. You said that Jack Veazey was here for his first race last week, and of course I was absent last week, so I didn't get to see him race. You said he's pretty quick. He even got a podium last week.
He did so, and he'll be looking to continue that. And I've got a feeling he may come away with one of the victories. Bearing in mind, John Hudson's not around tonight, the man who would usually thrive wherever he goes to, but he has had something clash with this one. So we do hope to see John back next week, which I'm sure he will do soon enough. Polymate on pole, and we're just waiting for Jack Veazey to get onto the grid. He'll be starting from 3rd position, and then we'll be good to go for the first race. 15 minutes it will be, with the top 5 finishers being reversed for race number 2. And Polymate aiming to make it 2 wins from 2 rounds this season. Even Bremer likewise as well. And if they continue that form, that is going to make John Hutchison's defence to his title even more challenging, which is why you cannot take your eyes off this particular series. And we look forward to the AMs being determined afterwards as well. Gert-Jan Polman was not around last week, but he will be back next time out at Imola. He is, we believe he is on holiday. So we hope he's having a fantastic time there. The lights are coming on now, and when they go out, we'll be racing at Donington. Lights on, lights off. It's go at Donington. Polymay getting off to a super start. There's a car already off. That's Steve Webb, who hasn't got to grips with the launch of his Radical SR8. He's down at the back on the grass, and we see Polymay coming out of Redgate Corner, and it's Paul Crabb in 2nd place out of Even Bremer and Jack Veazey in 4th position. He's down 1 place. Paul Crabb getting on to a super start from 4th up the grid. And he's the man going after Polymay by the time they get to the old hairpin. So it's LeMay who leads, Crabb 2nd, it's Bremer, Veazey who gets ahead. And that's Bremer going around, and he clashes with Menor de Graaf on the exit of the old hairpin. And that's his race heavily compromised, and the same for his fellow Dutchman, Menor de Graaf.
Well, that was unfortunate. I don't think anybody touched him. I think he spun it on his own, I believe. We'll go back and look at it in a few.
LeMay continuing on. Paul Crabb back in 2nd place. Veazey's up in 3rd. Mike Bousson continuing to come through. I was about to say, Jamie Bird has come up from 11th place up to 5th position. He's made an absolutely superb start to this already. And he's got David Walters for company behind as they come through the Melbourne hairpin. And they are going through the Grand Prix configuration of the course, and this is part of it. And it will be the hairpin of Goddard's before the lap is out. And this is the venue where British touring cars will be racing at for their next chapter in their 2025 campaign. They raced over in Knockhill at the weekend. It was a super event that saw Jake Hill come away with a couple of victories after being absent at Croft the event before. David Walters has got a slowdown on this pit straight. You can tell because there is that yellow flag graphic next to his name on the timing tower. So he's got to be wary that it doesn't cause too many problems for the cars behind.
So apparently that's a new addition during my week off that I was gone. They've added these flags to the timing tower. That's awesome.
It is, and we're seeing the lap times on the timing tower instead of the gap, so if that could be adjusted, that would be great. Polymay continues to lead then, and it's Paul Crabb. The gap is over a second between the pair of them, and it's Jack Veazey who's looking ever so strong again. Stefan Millers gets in front of David Walters, who's made a mistake on this lap. I think he's done it over at Coppice Corner, and he's down at least 3 positions from where he was. Mike Bouson's got to slow down now as well, so he needs to be on his toes. He'll have Jamie Bird for company. Ben Gregory is the latest to also get a slowdown, so I think we may well see quite a few slowdowns in this one because of the nature of this Donington course. But Polymay, clean as ever, as he was at Silverstone last week. Very, very strong there, and he's been strong so far here, and that is Bousson making way for Jamie Bird. He's got that slowdown, which he has to allow him to go by. And now, well, he can get on with his race, and the same for Ben Gregory, who had the same issue.
Yeah, I think Ben Gregory had a little incident even before he caught that slowdown. These two are getting after it right here.
They are, very much. And that is Bousson and Ben Underdown, who impressed again at Silverstone last week. Will he be a pro or will he be an AM? I think he kind of wishes to be an AM, considering how consistent it was in that. And if he does end up being in the AMs, then fair play to him. But my worry is he could end up being too good to the point where he warrants a place in the pros. We're on lap number 3 of this one. And Polymay continues to stretch the margin, coming up to 2 seconds now, very nearly. Ben Underdown riding the curbs through the Fogarty S's. And that is... they didn't get a slowdown for that, but now we're looking at Michael LeMay, who is under attack from David Walters. This is the battle for 8th position. Behind Walters is Steve Webb, who Has managed to recover very well, actually, considering that he went off the circuit as he got a really, really poor launch off the line. He is relatively new to these cars, is Steve Webb. We did have, I think it was Patrick Van Beek, I think it was, who was in the SR8 last week. He had a bad time there, and Michael LeMay has spun at Redgate Corner, and luckily he didn't take out anyone there, and that could be another position gain for Steve Webb, and it is so. LeMay down to P12.
Tell you what, let's go up here. Got Jack Veazey's closing in here on Paul Crabb, but I really wanted to go back and look at that initial incident that we had early in the race with that Menno de Graaf, Ewan Bremer incident.
It was over at the old hairpin when the pair collided, Ewan Bremer and Menno de Graaf. This is it.
Well, that's just unfortunate there.
Yeah, Menno de Graaf couldn't do anything about it.
Nothing at all. Nothing you could do about that at all.
I wanted to see if there was anything that contributed to that, because we did see Bremer spin to begin with, but then Menno de Graaf just...
The only thing I can do here, I'm going to do this. Jump back like 2 seconds.
Oh, he spun by himself. He spun by himself, as you rightly mentioned, Jim. So he's behind Paul Crabb on the approach to the old hairpin. And then he's going to end up getting caught in the tone air. Well, no one's run into him.
He
took the inside curb and bounced as he went back onto the track.
Yeah, he just caught a little curb there, and his tire just back end busted loose as it bounced.
And that sent Ewan Bremer down to the back. Well, he's now up in 9th place again. So the best maybe he can hope for is trying to get back into 5th position before this race is over. So he's got a chance again in race 2. Right now, that driver who holds that 5th position is Mike Bousson.
Yeah. Well, that's you got a couple guys back. Talk about guys who may be pro or maybe am. I wonder what they're going to do with Stefan Mellis. You know, he won the championship last year in the AMs, but you know, if I'm being completely honest, I think that he probably should stay in AMs. You know, he won, but he was very competitive with everybody else in that class. You know, so I think he should stay myself.
I think he will stay in the AMs, will Stefan Millis. I think he would prefer that anyway. But we've seen some action further up ahead involving Paul Crabb and
Veazey.
And Jack Veazey, because Veazey was to the outside of Crabb entering Redgate. There's fallen back behind. Michael LeMay's got ahead of Ben Gregory at the back of the field. I think Ben Gregory has made a mistake somewhere. And you can see by the way he is losing ground to him. But there we say Crabb and Veazey nose to tail. The gap is now 3 seconds between Paul LeMay and Paul Crabb.
Tell you what, Jamie Bird's sliding into this battle too.
He is very much so, coming through from 11th place up to 4th. Now is Jamie Bird.
He's right there behind him. If they battle a little bit, he's going to be all over him.
He will be so. He's down to these two to try and keep it as clean as they can, because Bird is directly behind them. Crabb he had a poor exit coming out of the chicane, and that's going to allow Veazey to send one up the inside. Crabb just about shuts the door on the Brit.
Oh, there's Jamie.
Yeah, there's Jamie to the outside, but Jack is there, waiting to pounce as they head towards Goddard's corner. Hairpin before the lap is out. Veazey will be looking to the outside again. If he could just tuck up in the slipstream of the Irishman, he may be able to go for it at Redgate corner again. Here he goes, look, Bird sticking to the slipstream.
He's going to try to cut under him here on this turn right here.
Yeah, through the craner curves they come. Is Jack Veazey alongside enough? Well, he's within a car's length. Crabb needs to keep some space between him and Veazey. Veazey on the inside.
Oh,
and
nice
that
move.
Is very nice. Very nice move through the old hairpin. Veazey is now up into P2, but he's now going to be on the defensive here, because not only has he got to defend from Crabb, but also Jamie Bird and Mike Bousson. Bird on the inside of Crabb heading towards Coppice, and Bird is going to head through, and that's third place for the Brit. Crabb is beginning to struggle.
Paul's struggling a little bit right there. He lost his rhythm, I think. And now he's got Busan all over him as well. And VC's getting a little free run out here.
Out of the S's they come. And then VC in second. Heading towards the old hairpin, or the Melbourne hairpin, I should say. Can he close down that gap to Paul LeMay between now and the end? There's only 5.5 minutes to go. I would say in terms of laps that we've got, just completing lap
Paul's
number
coming
7.
back. Look at him.
Yep, coming back on the inside at Goddard's is Paul Crabb. That's him through.
I'm not so sure Jamie's going to be too happy about that.
Well, of course he won't be, but this is all part of racing. He's just got to put his head down and get on with it. LeMay's meter is now 5 seconds, and this is the closest battle on circuit that we can bring you. Busan on the tail of Bird through the old hairpin again. And is he alongside enough? Well, Bird didn't have a very good exit, and that's going to allow Busan to get alongside. The bang wheels the pair of them. And I think Busan's going to have the inside line into McLean's, and Busan is through on Bird.
Ooh.
Forces Bird
Nice
out
move.
wide. And it's a good move there. It was robust, but it was fair from Mike Busan. And now he can go after Paul Crabb, who is occupying that final
Now
podium
you got
position.
Ben Underdown coming up on him. We fixing to have a 5-car battle going on here.
All for second position. Ben Underdown on the tail of these. And if he can just basically do his own
Jamie.
race, he could end up on reverse group pole. Bird on the inside of Busan again at the Melbourne hairpin. I'm surprised actually that Busan left in that amount of room.
Well,
Surprised he
Busan
didn't
locked
shut
up
the
there.
door.
I think he overshot that turn a little bit. He locked his tires up a little bit there.
He did lock up, but he should have defended the inside line a lot sooner than he did.
Yeah,
And
I think he
hesitated
he
and
overdrove it in there. I'm sure he intended to defend that line. Oh, what a battle they're having.
Brilliant battle to the end. We haven't got long left in this first race. Less than 4 minutes to go. Paul LeMay continues to lead this
Is that
one.
going to get us
really
two more laps or 3?
we're looking at times of 1 minute 21. So we've
Let's
got,
see where-
I would, a
see where
minimum of
Paul's
3
at.
more. Minimum of 3 more after this one.
Yeah, that'll be all right. So we're going to get some good, continue to get some good battles here.
Well, there is Bird and Busan again out of coppice. Is Busan close enough to head through the S's this time around? Bird leaves the door open. Busan tucks up behind. Jamie Bird towards Melbourne hairpin they come. Now, does Bird defend the inside line? Well, he doesn't, but he doesn't need to this time around because Busan decided not to go for it.
Oh, Jamie. Oh, both of them twitching it coming out of there. They were hard on the gas, both of them.
Yeah, sliding their way out of that. And right now, Paul LeMay has started another lap. We'll find out soon enough when we do start the final. There's usually a white flag to say that the final lap has started, which could come next time round. But now it feels like Busan and Bird are going to be locking horns for the remainder of this one.
Yeah, this
Right
is
now-
essentially, for the front row here, 4th and 5th. That'll be your front row.
I'm looking to see if there's any other battles going on. Well, Steve Webb is behind Mendes de Graaf. He'll be wounded after that contact with Ivan Bremer on the first lap. And
Yeah,
Ivan Bremer's
To be honest,
Right about a couple of
I'm
seconds.
surprised he stayed out. I mean, he took a pretty good lick.
took a very big hit from it, but he was lucky enough to continue. Ivan Bremer's a couple of seconds off David Walters after damage he picked up. So we're hoping to rebound from that in race 2. Paul LeMay is coming round towards the last corner now, and we'll see whether he does get the white flag from the marshal, or whether we will know it'll be the last up of the race. Comes over the line. Do we see a flag? I think he has started the last. Yeah, that's the white flag. Yeah, he's on his final lap. Is Paul LeMay, and he's on his way to his second win of the season. 3 rounds in the Radical SR8 Championship in a row where he's actually picked up a win after that long drought he had throughout the whole of last season. But Paul Crabb is right. Well, he's got Jack Feasy ahead of him, and this is the battle between Bird and Buson for 4th place. And this is not dying down between now and the end of this. Buson's still right there.
Yeah, and it's kind of allowed BC and Crab to kind of just separate out enough to, to lock in the top 3 on the podium, So this is, but then again, this is still the battle for the front row here, pole and second starting position, so.
He's had a slowdown as Buson, and that is allowing Ben Underdown to close in. Buson's slowdown hasn't gone yet. That could be a little bit of a challenge. It's gone now. All that momentum loss has allowed Ben Underdown to close in, but we'll go to the race leader, Paul LeMay, who's got one more corner to go, and it'll be victory number 2 of the campaign for the Brit on home turf. He's going to celebrate yet another triumph. Paul LeMay exits Goddard's for the last time, and he takes the first win at Donington. A super drive again from pole position for Paul LeMay. Jack Veazey, his best result so far in 2nd place. That's his 2nd podium finish of the season. Paul Crab on the podium as well, and it's Jamie Bird and Mike Buson running at the top 5. Buson will be on reverse grid pole ahead of with Ben Underdown in 6th place. Even Bremer 7th, recovering until they got by David Walters on the last lap, so he takes 7th place. Walters 8th, Stefan Millis 9th, with Melody Goff in 10th place. Steve Webb finishing his first race in P11, and it's Michael LeMay and Ben Gregory rounding out all the 13 drivers making it to the end.
I'll tell you what,
the race.
You can't complain about that, man. That was some good racing there.
I'm just waiting for Gregory to get over the line, and we can run down on the race result.
That has to be the smallest track map I've ever seen in my life. I'm going to have to adjust that, make it just a little bigger.
Race 1 completed, and it's Paul LeMay who takes the first race win of the night. Jack Veazey 2nd, Paul Crab 3rd, Jamie Bird 4th, and Mike Buson in 5th place. Ben Underdown 6th, Even Bremer 7th, and it's David Walters, Stefan Millis, Mena de Graaf, Steve Webb, Michael LeMay, and Ben Gregory rounding out the finishers. Race 2 grid is the same, except the top 5 are reversed, so it's Mike Buson on reverse grid pole, Jamie Bird alongside, and it's Paul Crab and Jack Veazey on row 2, Paul LeMay and Ben Underdown on row 3, followed by Even Bremer and David Walters. Stefan Millis and Mena de Graaf running out the top 10. Running out the grid are Steve Webb, Michael LeMay, and Ben Gregory.
They're lined up quick here, ready to go. I'll tell you what, I hope we get some more action like we had now, and that was some good racing there. We had a nice 4-car battle for half that race.
The lights are coming on again. 1 light, 2, 3, 4, and 5 lights are on. Lights off, it's go again in Donington. A super start again from Mike Buson. Not so from Jamie Bird. A huge contrast to what he did in the first race. Losing out big time. Really poor launch. And he's swamped by half of the field before they get to Redgate Corner. But no complaints so far from Mike Buson. He leads the way ahead of Paul Crab. It's Paul LeMay up 2 positions to 3rd, with Jack Veazey 4th and Ben Underdown in 5th place. Will they make it through Old Hairpin safely this time? Well, not so for Jack Veazey. He's gone a little too deep, and 4th position has become what is now 8th place. He's slotted in behind David Walters. Not a good start to this one for Jack Veazey. Jamie Bird beginning to make up for lost time. He's in 5th place, but that was a really poor start from Jamie Bird at the start, Jim.
Yeah, and we had Steve Webb had another bad start. I guess he's just not used to these cars that being as light as they are. You really can light these tires up, and that's two starts in a row. This one didn't quite get away from him like the last one, but it certainly didn't. He didn't get off the line good. Whoever was behind him had to completely go around him.
Buson locked up at Melbourne Hairpin, and Crab is right there within striking range to attack. He's going for it at Goddard's. He's on the inside. Is Paul Crab. Mike Buson left a tremendous amount of space, and it's enough for Paul Crab to take over leadership. Paul Crab leads race number 2 at Donington at the end of the first lap. I think there was a few drivers spinning around at the last corner. I think David Walters and even Bremer got involved again around that particular part of the course. We'll get a replay if there is one that we can look at.
Yeah, we'll look at that in a second here.
Paul LeMay in 3rd place behind Mike Buson.
Everything's kind of
Bird and Underdown at that. So this is the replay. at Goddard's. There was someone getting a little out of shade. I think that was even Bremer.
So this
He
is
was going to get a
Walters
tap
here.
from David Walters. Walters up the inside. And yeah,
Oh.
that was completely precipitated by David Walters there. And it caused carnage behind, involving the likes of Stefan Mellis and Mena de Graaf. So David Walters is completely at fault for that.
Yeah, he
And,
drove it in there a little
That's
deep.
a little too deep and a little too far back to make that lunge. And that's affected Stefan Mellis's race. He's in pit road now, is Stefan.
Was that Mellis he hit? I thought he hit
No,
Ewan.
no, he hit Ivan Bremer first.
Yeah.
And then that was what contributed the concertina involving
Oh,
de Graaf
okay.
and Mellis.
Yeah, boy, that's Ewan Bremer, man. That's two races in a row on the first lap. Or second lap, but still, you get the point.
Mellis will just want to get out, rejoin the race if he can. Mike Bousson is running in second place, but at least his race is going a lot better, unlike some. Even Bremer not having the best time of it so far tonight, and he's got a lot of work to do from where he is at. And I will say that Steve Webb is a name that I've come across actually. I met him at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. He works there as a marshal. Very, very good guy. I really like him a lot. And Jamie Bird has got a slow down to his name, and he won't be catching up to LeMay on the back of that. Could be easy picking for Jack Veazey to take advantage. They come out of Coppice, and this is the Starkey Straight before the S's. And you can see the top three nose to tail. LeMay gunning for another victory. Could he be surprise? I don't want to say package, but the surprise driver of the series who could potentially take the title fight to John Hutchison?
Well, he certainly can. In fact, I think it was the SR8s. It could have been the SR10s. I've done so many of these radical races in series, but he actually beat McCutcheon for a championship a couple of seasons ago in one of the radical series. So he's certainly capable, and when he's feeling good, he's pretty fast.
Even Bremer is in the pits now as well with damage, and he'll just want to get to the end of this now. The top 10 get reversed for race 3, so Bremer may as well keep going as he is, just in case there's any more dramas further up ahead. Now, I don't want to sound disrespectful by any stretch of the imagination. Judging by Ben Gregory's pace and Steve Webb's pace, I've got a feeling Even Bremer can still get back inside the top 10 by passing the pair of them, because I don't quite see the outright pace from Steve Webb or Ben Gregory yet.
Well, Gregory's had a couple of incidents where he's went off the track. I don't know that necessarily that he hit anything, but he's definitely had some off-track incidents already.
Well, he's got a lot to learn with this Radical SR8 machine. That's all I will say for Ben Gregory. It's not for everyone, but the more you stick with it, the more it could play out nicely for you if you can just stick to giving it a go. Even Bremer still hasn't left the pit lane. Stefan Mellis has got back out on circuit. He's already a couple of laps down on the leaders.
Yeah, you never know. As of last year, we know that every point matters, because Mellis won that championship by just a point or two last year, if I'm not mistaken.
That is true. And if you remember, I think he was down at the back in one of the races in Monza for the season finale. If he could just finish, then it would be enough for him to take the title, even if the round score wasn't that great. Mellis has had a Bremer now. I'm looking to see how many laps Bremer is actually behind. I think he's only 1 lap down, Mellis, sorry, not 2. But he may as well keep going and just see if he can get reverse grid pole for later.
Sure.
Mena de Graaf is in 10th place. He would get reverse grid pole ahead of David Walters.
Steve Webb closing in.
Yeah. This is the battle for the lead between Paul Crum and Mike Bousson. What I will say is that Steve Webb, despite the tardy start he had, it was a better launch compared to the first one, because the first one he ended up a long way off the grass, whereas at the start of this one he remained to the rear of the field. He's found himself in 8th position. This is a respectable drive from Steve Webb so far, I have to say.
Absolutely.
You look at, and now Bousson is fancying a go on Paul Crab. He looked to the outside, but no way through yet. He wants the best line and traction out of Goddard's, but now he has to switch back to the racing line before they come out there, and that is enough for Paul Crab to remain in the lead for the time being.
I'll tell you, if Steve Webb could figure out how to get these cars off the line, he'd be doing pretty well for himself.
I will say that
he seems to have a little pace, but he digs himself a little hole getting off the line. He needs to figure that what they call it, the launch trigger thing that they have where you can set it up.
Well, he's got another chance to get it right in race 3. So if I was Steve,
he got better. He got better in race 2, so he might improve. Paul got the rear end, stepped out on him a little bit there.
Yeah, he carried a little too much speed through Coppice, did Paul Crab, and that is inviting Buson back into play. He won't do it before the S's. It's too quick of a complex to get the job done, but they are coming through there now, and he may fancy a go to the outside. Now, if I was Buson, I'd have dummied him and just go to the inside to make him look swamped, if that makes sense. But now LeMay is right there in case these two have their own shenanigans, but it's clean so far between Paul Crab and Mike Buson.
They do this for a few more laps, and old Jack Veazey's going to catch them too.
Well, Veazey's doing a nice job recovering after losing places at the start, so he'll be fancying a go at it in the coming laps. I really am liking what we are seeing. These drivers are wanting to make a statement for the campaign. Ben Underdown is running in 6th place behind Jamie Bird, running consistently again. But Crab and Buson are nose to tail, knowing that they want the victory. It's a 5-point difference between finishing
there he goes
on the top step of the podium and finishing second. And Buson gets past Paul Crab for the race lead. That was a very nice overtake into McLean's. And Crab will be looking to retaliate here, but he's lost crucial ground. And LeMay is right there to take advantage.
Yeah, that was fantastic. And LeMay's all over Crab now. This is very reminiscent of the last race, and Jack Veazey slowly closing up on him.
Yep, Crab has got his mirrors full. Buson outbraking him. Well, say he's outbraking, so he's overdriving the car through a Melbourne hairpin. That's pretty much been his Achilles heel so far tonight. Not being able to slow down for that particular corner, and Crab is trying to do what he did earlier on in the race at the end of lap 1 and go through on Buson side by side down the pit straight. Mike Buson and Paul Crab for the lead in the Radical SR8 Championship in race number 2. They continue to bang wheels, and that pushes Crab off the circuit. Now, that was naughty from Buson. That was really naughty from him. I thought he pushed Crab off the circuit at Redgate, and there may be a few words afterwards.
Yeah, that was a little, yeah. Let's see.
LeMay's right there. Just hold on. No, just hold on.
Quick.
Hold on to the replay for now, because we've seen LeMay right there with Buson, but that is Crab off the circuit. We'll come back to that a little bit later, Jim, because I thought LeMay was going to get by Buson for the lead. He's right there now. Veazey's up into 3rd place after Crab had gone off the circuit at Redgate. Buson and LeMay going through the Fogarty S's. And is he going to go for it into Melbourne Hairpin? Well, watch where Mike Buson places the car, how he goes through this corner, because this has not been his favourite corner by any means tonight. Buson gets it slowed down this time. He's a little bit cautious through there, but he made it work. And LeMay pushing Veazey wide as well. It almost looked like a shove, but I don't think Veazey was close enough to really go for it. But LeMay's right there. We've now got 2 battles for the lead and for 3rd position. And Crab is right there to get back into the podium places. Yep. And LeMay down the inside of Buson. Buson leaves enough room this time to make it through the corner. I think he perhaps learned from last time that he couldn't be as aggressive as what he was with Paul Crab a lap ago.
I tell you what, Paul is driving like like an angry man right now. He is pushing hard.
He's got to slow down as well, Paul Crab.
Yep,
4th position.
Up one. That's going to hurt him because Jamie's going to be all over him.
And Bird has got by Paul Crab, who allows him to go through. And LeMay is right there with Buson. Is he close enough to die for it? He will not
Yeah.
go for it here. He'll think about the Melbourne hairpin, if not Goddard's. And that's the good thing with this particular configuration is the slower corners, which are genuine opportunities to get an overtake done. And Pole Crab diving to the inside again on Jamie Bird at Melbourne hairpin. And he's got by him for 4th place. Bird has, in fact, I think has spun round. I think the pair of them might have collided at Melbourne hairpin because Bird is now 5 seconds behind Pole Crab and he's got Ben Underdown for company.
Oh my goodness. Oh, yeah, let's see. Let's go see real quick what happened.
Mike Bousson leads and Polemate in 2nd place. It's Jack Veazey and Pole Crab. This
is the whole sequence here. So that's the
Crab letting
slowdown.
Bird through.
Yep.
That's over at Coppice. So it's a little bit further on, Jim, where we're going to see the contact between Bird and Crab.
I was going to see if there was anything that led up to it, but maybe not here.
No, not through this section. No, it's over at Melbourne Hairpin. Here we go. Look.
Nah,
there was no
just
contact.
Jamie.
No, it was just Jamie Bird locking up and outbreaking himself.
Yeah.
I want to have a look then on that incident with Bousson and Crab at Redgate Corner because that looked a little too aggressive from Bousson to just simply bang wheels with Crab, and that was what resulted in Crab going off the circuit.
Yeah.
Now, Paul May's right there. He's thinking about an overtake into Melbourne Hairpin round the outside. Again, goes Paul May, be able to do a switchback if he's clever, but Bousson just about shuts the door. There'll be one more lap for these. It'll be the same as what it was in race 1 with it being an 11-lap race. But Bousson, bar that incident with Paul Crab, has done everything right in this. LeMay right there with Bousson out of Redgate Corner. Down the Craner curves. And it'll be the old hairpin before they circulate through there. I think Bousson will do enough here. I don't think LeMay's really within striking range to attack unless Bousson gets a slowdown somewhere. Right board with the rear wing of Bousson exiting McLean's. Running wide before heading uphill through Coppice. And has LeMay got anything left in there? We'll see soon enough. And Paul LeMay to the inside, almost. And
he's
now
coming. He's trying.
Yeah, Melbourne hairpin he's got, but he won't go for it from here. He needs a really, really strong exit. If he's got any chance of snatching victory away from Mike Bousson, nearly running to the rear of him. He's got to hope Bousson has a really tardy exit. It was not the best exit from Mike Bousson out of that particular corner. Now, does Paul LeMay look to the outside? Bousson defends, and I think that will be just about enough for Bousson to take victory here. Mike Bousson takes win number 2 of the season, or win number 1 of the season for Mike Bousson in race number 2 here in Donington, winning out in the end over Paul LeMay and Jack Veazey. Paul Crab 4th, Jamie Bird in 5th place with Ben Underdown in 6th. And it's Michael LeMay, Steve Webb in a respectable 8th position. A good drive from him with Mena de Graaf, David Walters, Ben Gregory and Stefan Millis running up the finishes. Eva Bremer didn't make it to the end of that.
So let's go back real quick before this thing jumps over and look at this one more time. Oh, man.
I don't think that was on. That was naughty, really, from Bousson, in my opinion. I don't think that was on at all.
No, I don't either. I agree. I think that was... I wanted to see if... Is this where LeMay and him got after each other?
No, it wasn't quite ahead. No. Well, there was a little tab, but that was only very minor.
Yeah, very minor.
I stand by the fact that the collision between him and Crab was not on, in my book, with Mike Bousson. We'll let him explain that a little bit later. We've got a 5-minute warm-up session now, so we've got a little bit of a breather, Jim, before we go into race number 3. But in fact, let's run down on the race 2 result, because we haven't done that yet, have we?
We have not done that.
Mike Bousson taking the win in that. In race number 2 at Paul LeMay and Jack Veazey. Paul Crab 4th, Jamie Bird 5th. It's Ben Underdown, Michael LeMay, Steve Webb, Mena de Graaf and David Walters. He will start on reverse grid pole. Ben Gregory and Stefan Millis are the rest of those to finish. Even Bremer did not.
I don't mean any disrespect by saying this at all, but the fact that Steve Webb is starting up at the front of the field makes me a little nervous. Only because he struggled getting off the line tonight, and with all of those guys behind him, you could see that going bad. You know what I mean?
He may choose to start from the pit lane if that is what he's going through his mind. He may choose to start from the pit lane. If he does that, I actually don't blame him.
No, I wouldn't either. That would actually probably be a decent, but again, he got off the line better last time. I wish that they would leave these ability for us to see these replays during this warm up time, because I would love to go back and take a look at him getting off the line in the last one. He's out there on track right now. I wonder if he's going to go practice some starts.
I mean, we'll see soon enough. I mean, if that's what he's thinking of doing, we'll stay with Steve Webb, and if he does practice his launch, then he's got a couple of opportunities to do that. Thinking of it,
yeah, it probably would be, wouldn't be the worst idea. I mean, he's obviously, got some decent pace. I just think he's not used to these cars having the ability to light the tires up like they do.
Well, he's made it to the end of both races, Steve Webb.
Yeah, I mean, he had a decent finish there. I mean, overall, it wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to try and do a start here, whether he's just focusing on a little bit of lap time here. I think if there was any driver that wants to make the most of the 5-minute wall, I think he would most certainly be one of them. A little bit surprised Ben Gregory has not decided to do the same thing, because he's struggled tonight so far, but this is a new thing for Ben Gregory compared to what he'll be used to.
I wonder what he comes from. I wonder what his background is. I wonder if he's races sports cars, or if he's a open wheel guy, or be curious to know. I'd be willing to almost bet that Steve Webb probably races sports cars, would be my guess, since he's doesn't seem too used to doing a standing start. I mean, that's all speculation on my part, though.
Well, Ben Gregory, I think, came into the chat before he started racing, saying I'm too new to these cars to be racing these lot. Well, it is fair. I mean, at least he's been honest with that one, and I think he's got a lot to learn if he's going to be getting anywhere.
But the thing is, he's doing okay. He's doing okay. Just his starts. I mean, other than that, he's kept the car, relatively on the track, and he's doing well. I mean, here he is right here running with, who is that he's running with? Is that Bremer? No, Minnow? Yeah.
That's Menno de Graaf ahead of him. They're going to post some lap times here, the pair of them. Heading over the line. Well, these are not really representative times. They just want a little bit more track mileage anyway, these two. Now, a little bit of insight about Donington, Jim. The British touring cars do race here. Nowadays, they race here twice during the year. They went in April for the season opener. They also came earlier in that month for the season launch, where they went testing, as well as unveiling the new cars and did all the photo shooting and that. And they'll be racing again on the Grand Prix configuration later this month, which should be very, very exciting indeed. Do not miss British touring cars as well. It's a brilliant championship to watch. 2 drivers in the running for the title. Tom Ingram, who's leading the way ahead of Ash Sutton in second place from 2 different teams as well, which almost gives the vibes of sort of Hamilton-Verstappen days of 2021 a little bit, but I'm sure it won't be as controversial as that.
Yeah, that was definitely controversial. So this track has hosted Formula One in the past?
Yeah, only once though, in 1993. It was the European Grand Prix, because we had 2 races in Britain that year. Silverstone held the rights for the British Grand Prix,
right?
Whereas Donington hosted the European Grand Prix that particular year. Let's run down the grid then for the final race of tonight. David Walters on reverse grid pole with Menno de Graaf alongside. Steve Webb and Michael LeMay are next, and it's Ben Lansdowne and Jamie Bird in 5th and 6th. Paul Grab and Jack Veazey are 7th and 8th, followed by Paul LeMay and Mike Bousson, rounding out the top 10. Ben Gregory, Stefan Millis, and Even Bremer starts from the back of the grid.
Well, I see that Webb has chosen to start up front there, and so he must feel pretty confident in his ability to get off the line. And those may have been flukes. Again, I don't know how he races.
We've got the lights coming on now. Everyone is on the grid. No one's starting from the pit lane. Lights are on. Lights off very, very quickly. Steve Webb got a very poor getaway, but at least no one has come together with him. And he is down at the back already, but I'm sure he'll make up for it further down the line in this one. It's a 20-minute race, and it's David Walters who poles clear ahead of Ben Unsdown. Michael LeMay in third place. And it's Paul Crabb who's looking to make up after what had happened in race number 2. And he's up from 7th to 4th. Mike Bousson up from 10th to 6th. Even Bremer up from 13th to 8th already, coming out of the old hairpin. So he's made up some good ground so far.
Jamie Bird.
David Walters. Jamie
He's
Bird
lost 3
up.
spots again.
Yeah, he's had a really poor start. And he's collided with Stefan Millis. And there goes the front end of Mena de Graaf's car once more. And it looks like Paul LeMay's gone round.
Yeah.
He's coming together with Steve Webb by the looks of it. He's gone for a spin.
Bad. There goes Jamie's front end. Oh, it reattached. Paul's front end's gone. Mellis's front end is gone. Oh, my word.
Well, we're going to be in for a different race now, that's for
We
sure.
Sure are.
And Ben Unsdown has a chance to win his first Radical SR8 race. And you've got Paul Crabb and Mike Bousson behind, and Jack Vesey is also in there. David Walters is going way too deep into the last corner of Goddard's. Ben Unsdown is going to be right there. But do watch out for the usual suspects of Crabb, Bousson, Vesey, and now Bremo's up into 6th position. He's had a very, very strong start to this one. Can he end his even on a high in what's been a really challenging night of racing for the Dutchman?
Yeah, there's some guys that's had a really rough night so far.
Apparently Ben and Steve are used to racing GT3s, so that's the thing. I mean, Paul LeMay kindly has come in saying Ben's doing fine, he'll get there, which I agree.
No, absolutely.
He just needs to up the pace a little bit. That's all I would say with Ben Gregory, but that comes after experience, really, compared to what he is used to.
And the thing is, like I said, Steve has shown some speed. He's just got to figure that launch out.
Out of the S's then, Walters, he will just want to focus on keeping his car on circuit. Bousson going for it on Crabb at Melbourne hairpin. On the side goes Bousson, and that is him through into 3rd position. Jack Vesey not able to make the most of Crabb's loss in momentum. Bousson going deep as well into Goddard's, and Vesey on the tail as Crabb runs wide.
Crabb had a really weird twitch going into that corner there.
Vesey through on the outside. Crabb outbrakes him into Redgate. Crabb holds on for now, but Bremer is right there with Vesey. It's been a super start to this one. Lots of drivers been in the walls already, and it is David Walters who is trying to ensure he remains at the head of the pack. He does have the fast up the race so far. It's been a 20-minute one. It'll be a longer race compared to what we had in races 1 and 2. And Jack Vesey right there, isn't he? He's just up the inside again on Paul Crabb. Does he go through? Oh, that was a very nice overtake.
Here comes Bremer, right with him.
Yeah. Paul Crabb down 2 positions. That was the bit between his teeth stuff for Jack Vesey. But he went for it, and like how a racer should do. And that is him through into 4th position. David Walters lost 2 positions because he's now behind both Underdown and Bousson. I think he's made a mistake on this lap somewhere.
Yes. Yeah, he did. Let's go back, take a quick look at what happened to him there. Oh,
so
he's hot.
At Coppet. Yep. Runs wide, and that allows Underdown and Bousson through into 1st and 2nd places.
I tell you what, man, it's so hard to get out there and lead with these fast guys behind you like that. Because you got to have the pace, or they're just going to run you down.
And there is Vesey. There is Bremer. And there is Crabb in 4th, 5th and 6th. Mena de Graaf is making up for lost time. as we speak. He's running in 7th position with Michael LeMay in 8th place. So a little bit further back. We're looking at the lap times actually instead of the the gaps.
I don't know why it does that. I'm an interval guy myself, but every time I hit the button, it clicks over to that. I'm going to fix that. Yeah.
Well, Melody Graf is about 4.5 seconds off Pole Crab, so we'll see if he can improve his pace a little bit and close up. Jamie Bird gets by Steve Webb for 10th position. Ben Gregory's got a slow down, so that should be easy for Bird to go through on him at some point in the near future.
This Bird's lap time's looking like he's okay. I was wondering how much damage he had, you know.
Well, he's almost quicker than the leader.
Yeah.
Well, he is actually quicker than the leader, is Jamie Bird. So it doesn't feel like the collision he was involved in earlier has slowed down his pace at all.
No, he's got the second fastest lap of the race right now.
He's through Ben Gregory for 9th place. Got Michael LeMay and Melody Graf next.
He's just, he's got a lot of space to make up there. Oh, this up here is heating up.
David Walters in 3rd position, just ahead of Jack Veazey out of McLean's.
Yeah, Jack Veazey is all over him.
Yeah, he's absolutely going for it. He's Veazey. It's a matter of time before he gets through. Steve Webb has a slowdown. But we're now looking at Veazey. We haven't seen any overtakes through this section. It'll be very brave for Veazey to go for it. Well, Walters has to let him by. He knows he's going quicker, and that is him down another position. Veazey through into P3. And Steve Webb is now ahead of Ben Gregory for 10th place. And Walters has got Evan Bremer next behind. And Ben Underdown, who is leading. He's got a chance to win out. This is going to be a very important one for Ben Underdown because this could determine whether he'll end up in the pros or in the AMs. And if he can hold off Mike Bousson to the end, he could well end up being a pro instead of an AM, which he was in last season.
He won a race last season, right?
He won many races as in the AMs, but he didn't win a race outright.
Okay, all right. I thought for some reason, I thought he won one outright.
No, I don't think an AM did last season.
No, you're right.
He nearly did at Monza.
Right, yeah. Oh, that was so much fun. I cannot wait for that race again this year.
And then we look at the pack behind. Evan Bremer in 5th place. They've left Paul Crab for Dev, really. Paul Crab is continuing to lose ground. And Melody Graf has got a slow down next to his name. So he'll be backing off the pace at some point. And Jamie Bird is on the tail of Michael LeMay almost. He's aiming to get another position made. And there goes Mike Bousson on Ben Underdown for the lead. Out of Melbourne Hairpin. Ben Underdown's still there, gets the crucial traction, and off goes Bremer. Bremer is off. Got the power down too much and he's paid the price for it. And that's his evening going from bad to worse. Underdown surviving. But it's a matter of time before Bousson finds a way through. This is not something that Underdown's been used to doing in the Radical SR8 Championship. He is very much getting his elbows out here. And watch out for Jack Veazey and David Walters. They'll be closing on this. Yeah,
and we know that that Bousson is not scared to lay a fender on you to move you out of the way. We've seen that obviously already.
Bousson right in the wheel tracks of Underdown. He's going for it at McLean's corner. A little exuberant there from Bousson. He has to keep this clean. And he does get allowed through there by Underdown, who has to yield that time. So not only Bousson goes into the lead, but it looks like Jack Veazey has found a way through into 2nd place as they go down Starkey Straight. But Underdown's going to have the inside line for the chicane coming up, but he's had to back out of it. Veazey is through into 2nd place. Can he go for his first win in this series?
Underdown is got David Walters all over him now. He went from driving for the lead. Now he's looking in his mirror for 4th place.
Sounds just needing to focus on Getting it to the end. He's done very well so far. And you never know. Oh, and David Walls has got a kick of oversteer on the exit of Goddard's, and Paul Crubb is right there.
Yeah, and it looks like Jamie Bird is closed up on Michael LeMay as well. Maybe getting another position here shortly.
Halfway through this final race of tonight, and Mike Buson, who won out in race 2, it's looking good to make it 2 wins from 3.
This could be fun. If these two can get together, I'd like to see VZ and Buson go at it here.
Bennard's down is right there. I wouldn't be at all surprised if he ends up being in the pros next time out. And we know that the likes of Buson will be in there. We expect VZ to be in there.
I mean, I
expect Paul Crubb to be in there.
Underdown should be. I mean, he won a lot of races last year. You know, I think he should be.
I agree with that as well. Menno de Graaf will probably end up being in the AMs again. Ivan Bremer will be in the pros. He won a race last week as well, did Ivan Bremer. He's just not had the time of it tonight. Paul Crubb got by David Walters on this lap for 4th place. He is through. VZ there, half a second off. Buson down the pit straight as they begin their 9th lap here in Donington. We go to Imola next time out, where we'll find out he'll be in the pro class and he'll be in the AMs. There'll be trophies given out at the end of the season, to my understanding. There will be prizes for the pro winner and the AM winner.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what, Michael LeMay's holding Jamie off. Of course, again, I'm still not 100% certain that Jamie doesn't have some damage. He's going fast for sure, but he had to suffer some damage in all of that.
You'd have thought so, but
we saw his front end get knocked off and then reattach, you know, so I mean, obviously he took a decent little shot there.
Well, the only drivers who have set faster lap times on the last lap than Jamie Bird are those in the 1 minute 21s, who are Michael LeMay, Ivan Bremer, and the top 2 in the race, Mike Buson and Jack Veason. That's because Bird has been held up behind LeMay now, and he needs to get by him very, very soon. He's got Ivan Bremer not too far up ahead, of which he'll try and make a move. Oh, and Bremer's gone round again. Same corner where he spun last time, and he's done it again.
Oh, my goodness.
And he's gone back into pit lane. He's heading off. That moves Michael LeMay and Jamie Bird up a position each. Bremer will be very happy to see the back of this one.
Jamie got a little out of shape there.
It is very much so. And Mike Buson in the lead still. Jack Veason not too far off from his first win. He's already picked up a 2nd place finish tonight. He's going to go for another 2nd place.
Let's go back and take a look at what happened to Ewan there when we were focusing on that LeMay battle.
He just got a huge twitch.
Oh! Yep. Got a little tank slapper off the curb. Yeah.
He's back on circuit again.
Clearly he didn't have damage there, so that was a pure frustration tow right there.
There's a black flag for David Walters now. He's not disqualified from the race, in case you're wondering. He will have some form of penalty that he has to serve for not serving that slowdown.
Oh.
Now, I think with the slowdown, you're supposed to back off, and that explains why he's been made to go through the pit lane.
Yeah. Wow. That's huge, man.
And it doesn't like he's bothering to continue. That promotes Jamie Bird and Michael LeMay up another position each. David Walters won't be having any form of influence on the race any longer. And Mike Buson still holding on ahead of Jack Veason, who's just not close enough to really attack Buson at this stage.
He hadn't been able to close that gap up, has he? I mean, Buson's fast. I mean, no doubt about that. But I was really hoping. Of course, we still got a good five minutes left in this. At any point he could cut loose, or Busan could have a little twitch, and next thing you know, they'll be all over each other.
Well, there is Busan, there is VC. Ben down in the final podium position. He's had a strong drive tonight, has Ben. Hardly
really
been involved
has.
in anyone else's incident. Yeah.
I'll tell you who else has had a really good run tonight is Mike Busan. He's been strong tonight.
He has, and I think Busan is probably going to be given the Driver of the Night award on the back of his performances. Now, in race number 1, he was... I'm just trying to find where he was in the race. I think it was 5th in the race 1, and then in the second race, he obviously took victory.
Yeah, he picked up that pole position in that first race, after the first race, and he took that pole and went on and won the second one. Yeah, VZ just cannot seem to close that gap up. It's staying right there at 4 or 5 tenths.
See if we're with a slowdown now. He's running in 9th position ahead of Paul LeMay and Ben Gregory. He's aiming to get in around about a couple of seconds off Stefan Millis, who's wounded off that first lap contact.
Jamie's trying again.
And LeMay goes defensive, and yeah, Bird outbreaks himself. He's lost crucial ground. In getting by Michael LeMay, he's had a rather mixed evening so far. He hasn't made that much progress compared to how
big
his
twitch.
brother's been getting on. And that was a twitch there from Bird on the exit of Melbourne Hairpin. You're absolutely right. I don't think he's going to be passing him anytime soon. But VZ
just kind of ran off track there a little bit.
Now we've got around about 3 laps to go. Are we going to see Jack VZ becoming a race winner in the Radical SR8 Championship for the first time? Or is Mike Busan going to add another victory to his long list of wins? He didn't pick up a win last week at Silverstone. He's picking up what could be 2 from 3 this evening. He's going to make a huge statement in terms of his charge for the title with John Hutchinson, who, believe it or not, is his teammate within the Team Redline squad.
Yeah, and also, so we're obviously missing the other Team Redline driver. Come on, Jim. Radline. Really? My memory's terrible.
It'll come to us at some point.
Yeah,
Luke Maxwell.
Luke Maxwell, yes. Yeah.
VZ's gone through on Busan for the lead. Jim.
Yeah.
He's got by him at Goddard's corner, and VZ is through into the lead for the first time. They've got a couple of laps to go, so there's still time for Busan to fight back. He made a costing mistake at Goddard's corner, and VZ saw the door and went for it.
I'll tell you what, Busan is trying to come right back on him, too. He is pressing him hard here.
Pressing him hard, yeah. And Busan's going to go for his favourite overtaking spot at McLean's. And VZ, I don't think, is going to fight. He's going to allow him to go through. Does Busan get the car slowed down? Not quite so. That's very clever from VZ. Really intelligent driver. Did you see how much space he gave him and how much he got off the brakes to give him all the speed and traction coming out of McLean's? It's worked out perfectly for him. And now they are coming down Starkey Straight. I think VZ may as well get his elbows out. He needs to get his elbows out. He does. Busan's there. Does Busan leave space? No, he cannot do what he did to Paul Grab in race 2. They're going through Melbourne Hairpin again. Busan on the inside. VZ going a little bit
wide. Yep.
Wide as well. Busan. He had a twitch as well, did Busan. This battle is far from over with one more lap remaining.
Wow. We got a couple of battles developing out there. Minnow DeGraff and Paul Crabb. We've got something going on.
Michael LeMay and Jamie Bird as well. They're fighting over 6th position.
Man, VZ, when he ran wide there, that was, I mean, golly. Not that I'm pulling for anybody to win. I just want to see some of that back and forth battling like that. That was some good racing. Here he comes.
Through McLean's for the last time. Is Mike Bousson going to hold on to the win? It could even come down to the last corner for Jack Vesey to claim his first victory in this series. We aim to get a word with him in what's been a really promising night for Jack after his super performance at Silverstone last week.
And another good one tonight, either way.
Well, Vesey, well, he's thinking about it. Bousson goes defensive, and rightly so. Now he's got to get a clean exit out of here, just Bousson, otherwise he's going to be prey to Vesey back. It's a clean exit, but Vesey is right there. He may even go for one last gasp dive to the outside. It may even be a drag race to the line, but Mike Bousson is going to hold on and make it 2 wins from 3, winning out in the end over Jack Vesey. Ben Underdown gets overtaken by Paul Crabb over the line. A drag race to the line. Paul Crabb snatches the final podium position away from Ben Underdown. Mena de Graaf holds off ahead of Jamie Bird and Michael LeMay. Bird got by LeMay on the last lap, so he gets 6th place.
He finally got by him.
Yeah.
I got to go back and see that Paul Crabb thing there. Look at this.
Ben Underdown just got a very poor exit.
Oh, man.
Compared to Paul Crabb. That's really unfortunate for Ben Underdown. We'd love to have seen him on the podium, but it's been a solid evening's work.
It has.
Stefan Miller's 8th, even with the damage. Steve Webb 9th. And it's Paul LeMay and Ben Gregory, the remainder of the drivers to finish. David Walters never made it to the end, and neither did Even Bremer. Gregory heading over the line to finish his evening, and at least he's got another finish to his belt and more points. That hopefully we'll see an improvement from Gregory in the coming rounds. Let's have a look at the final result for race number 3. Mike Bousson making it 2 wins from 3 tonight ahead of Jack Vesey. Paul Crabb in 3rd place with Ben Underdown in 4th. Mena de Graaf in 5th ahead of Jamie Bird, getting ahead of Michael LeMay on the last lap. Stefan Miller's 8th, Steve Webb 9th, and Paul LeMay running at the top 10. Ben Gregory, the last driver to finish in P11. David Walters and Even Bremer did not finish. We'll give it a couple of minutes before we get interviews with drivers. In terms of that experience with the Radical SR8's, Jim, what did you make of it?
I tell you what, it was some good racing. I mean, we really had some good racing there tonight. In every race, we had a battle that lasted a few laps, and we got some new guys, which is great. And they're going to have their struggles, especially if they're not used to these cars. If they're used to those big old heavy, like GT3 cars, completely different animal. Those cars have traction control, they have ABS, and they're heavy. But these guys are doing good. I mean, each one of them has their own little things to work on, but yeah, overall, man, good stuff across the board. It was a lot of fun. This was a good, exciting race. Nothing against John, but when when McCutcheon's not here and Maxwell, it seems like we get a few more battles up there at the front.
Well, we've got Jack Vesey waiting in the interview room, so we'll bring him into the booth now and we'll get a word with him. Jack, welcome. Tom and Jim right here to speak to you about your performances tonight and maybe about Silverstone last week, because we never saw you race before Silverstone. Well, Jim didn't. Well, I obviously commentated on you on Silverstone and Jim wasn't here. But Jim, in terms of his first experience of watching you, he says he was rather impressed with your performances tonight.
So much so he didn't want to talk to me.
Jack, are you there? Can you hear us? I think he might have gone somewhere. We'll get a word with Paul LeMay. Actually, we'll put Jack in the interview room for now and get a word with Paul LeMay and discuss about his performance tonight. Paul, it's another win to go alongside what you had last week at Silverstone. But I think in the I think in race 2, what was it, second in that, and then race 3 was just a write-off, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, good evening, gents. Yeah, no, it's an enjoyable evening. Unfortunately, race 2, didn't quite go to plan. Sorry, race 3 didn't quite go to plan, but overall, it was a pretty good evening. So really enjoyed it.
And,
Yeah,
unfortunately,
the shot I'm showing of you right now is you riding around with your feet sticking out the front of the car.
Yeah, it was a bit blowy there, Jim, but it wasn't too bad, mate.
Is it? How do you find that though? When you lose the front end of your car, does it make it better for you to drive, or does it not?
It's a little bit more understeery, trying to get it turned in and what have you. And I had wonky wheels as well, so I had to come in. I had no choice really. But one of those things, I'm pleased with my qualifying earlier on, and race 1 and race 2 was a really good battle with Mike. But it's so hard to pass around here. And Mike just had it covered, really. I did give it a try. I nearly lost it going into turn 1. Just misjudged me braking and nearly went up the inside. So it was a bit of a close call.
We've got Imola next week, and that's when the pros and the AMs get decided. I mean, it's pretty much a sure you'll be in the pros again, Paul. But
yeah,
John Hodgson not here this evening, much to my surprise. I know he mentioned it to me and James Parfitt last week. But do you think you've got a shot at the championship this season?
Yeah. I mean, it's always tough up against sort of likes of John. I think Jack's going to be right there as well. And then I think Luke will be back, and there's Mike Bousson. So, I'll just give it my best shot and see what happens. But they're all really tough competitors. So, I'll just do my best.
So,
anyone
Paul,
want to shout out to?
I'm sorry. I just wanted to real quick. During the broadcast, I was talking about that you had beat John for a championship a couple of seasons ago. Was that in the SR8s or the SR10s? I couldn't remember.
No, I mean, the only championship I won was season 2 in Radical Racers in the SR10. But John wasn't in the series then. It was against sort of Simon.
Okay.
Edwards and what have you, yeah. So,
I guess it was Simon. Yeah. My bad. Yeah, I just remember you winning that championship in the last day, and I just couldn't. But you're right, McCutcheon wasn't in there.
Yeah, sadly, I haven't beaten John. So
I've
beaten him in the odd race, but
many people
we'll give it a
go.
No, he's a tough nut, isn't he? He's a tough nut to crack.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
So anyway, I cut. I'm sorry, I cut Tom off. But do you have anybody you want to shout out to while we have you in here?
Really, well, Mike. Really, he's got 2 wins, and he's drove really well tonight. So shout out to Mike, yeah, and of course you guys.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
All right,
very
guys.
nice of you, Paul. Thank you very much, and good luck to Imola next week.
Yep, thanks, guys. Catch you later.
Catch you later. Thank you very much.
Sorry about that,
We'll
Tom.
get a word. No, it's all right. Don't worry about it. These things happen from time to time. I think this is the problem when we're doing it remotely. We'll bring Jack Veazey in now and see if he actually is able to speak.
His thing looks dark. I don't think he's in there.
No, he is here. Yeah.
I have a voice now.
Oh, there he is.
Okay. How are you, Jack?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Yeah, right, thank you. This is the first time we spoke, actually, since you joined the Radical SR8 Championship. I was very impressed with your performances last week at Silverstone, and you picked up 1 podium there, and you've picked up 3, I think, this evening. It was 2 second places and a third here this evening for you at Donington. How have you found it?
Tricky, getting used to it. But yeah, I'm new to the Radicals. It's my first ever time. These last few events are my first time in the car, so I would say I'm pretty comfortable with the car now. Struggled a bit last week, getting up to speed, especially with the starts. I think last week I was losing 4 or 5 places each start, but today was a bit better. And yeah, the good results and fun, clean racing.
And in regards to the circuits this season, I mean, we've raced at Silverstone, we've been at Donington tonight. Are there any circuits on the calendar that you feel you're going to be stronger at compared to others?
No, I like Imola. And Suzuka. Bruxton, I need to learn. I don't even own that track, so I need to learn it. But I don't know. Let's just see how each week goes. But yeah, Suzuka and Imola are normally pretty good tracks for me. So yeah, maybe those two.
And with the way the championship's going at the moment, very very consistent so far. John Hudson, we mentioned earlier, not around tonight, but a shot at the championship, is that on the cards, or is it just there's still more for you to learn with these machines?
Yeah, still learning. Yeah, John's very quick. As Paul LeMay's very quick as well. Couldn't get anywhere near his quality time today, and yeah, he's definitely one to watch out for. But yeah, I'm just seeing how each week goes for now before I say anything.
Anyone you want to shout out to, Jack, before we let you go?
Cole Ram, my chat moderator on Twitch, top guy, and you guys for the great commentary broadcast. I love watching them back, so yeah, I'll definitely be watching it back in a minute.
Okay, well, that's very very nice of you, Jack. Thank you very much, and best of luck to you at Imola next time out.
Okay, thanks a lot.
No problem.
Cheers. Bye bye.
That was Jack V's who we spoke to there. We'll now get a word with the race winner of races number 2 and 3, Mike Bousson. Off the mark in terms of wins for this season. But how have you found this evening compared to last week at Silverstone?
Tricky, to be fair. I love the track, but it takes a while to get into the groove of it. And it was hard. I would like to say I had 0 off tracks, but there was plenty of them, and they weren't intentional. It was quite, and I've had I don't know, a few slowdowns as well. So it was not smooth sailing, that's for sure. But yeah, no, happy with the result though. Sent Paul a little message because I swore blind it was him tank slapping me, but when you look from the aerial view, it does seem that I initiated it, and the second one is just a rebound from the first one, because I obviously thought he was going to go back to the left to swing in wide, but he's just stayed in the middle. So not to defend myself too much so yeah. So
just so you know, I was going to bring that up, Mike. We were going to talk about that one way or the other.
Yeah, it's a hard one because obviously Paul's well within his rights just to keep it in the middle. I just probably in my head assumed it was him slapping me, or I natively would be trying to go back slightly to the left, and I assumed he'd probably go all the way to the left so he could cut back under me, because he would have had me on the cut switch back. But you know, I apologise to him. But I'm sure he's rubbed me a few times previously racing, so as guilty as I feel, you know, I don't think it's to the level of a Schumacher or anything quite like that. So I will still sleep well tonight, don't worry.
We're going to a more legendary circuit of Imola, which I don't necessarily regard it as like an overtaking track. But is it your kettle of fish, Imola, or is it one of those where you're not expecting to be as strong as what you have been at Donington?
Probably not. I can't remember the name of the corners. The really heavy curbed chicane. Me and that chicane really do not get on. So I can either have a very good race, or it will be a very bad race. There is no in between as a general rule in Imola for me. And as these cars, I don't think they really have a great draft overtake. I would imagine into T1 is going to be quite hard for these cars to make a clean pass. So should make for some exciting cars going across the gravel somewhere, I would imagine.
You were the only representative for Team Redline tonight. John Hutchinson and Luke Maxwell not around this evening. How have you found it just being that sole representative compared to what you were used to?
Great, because I don't have to worry about John at all. That's probably where it all happened. Is John and Luke, especially John. It scares me off the track. So
Anyone who wants
if he can stay away a few more races, I'll be happy with that.
Anyone who want to shout out to Mike before we let you go?
Oh, I haven't thought of anything witty tonight, so thank you very much for a great broadcast, or I assume it'd be a great broadcast when I watch it. And to the new guys, Jack has got to grips with the car really quickly, so he looks like he's going to start challenging a lot more as the season goes on. So, yeah, we call that a wrap.
And we expect more from Jack in the coming weeks. I think he's done very, very well in the first couple of weeks I've seen him race, and it's very inevitable he's going to end up being in the pro category like you will be.
Yes. Yeah, no,
Anyway,
he's definitely coming on fast, so I'll be looking in my mirrors for him.
Mike, thank you very much for speaking to us, and well done on the results you've picked up tonight and the performances, and we'll see you again at Imola next time out.
Yep, thank you guys. Speak to you soon.
Thank you very much, Mike. Well, Jim, that is a wrap, as Mike rightly described that as. I think you may have learned a thing or two about Donington, because I know you said earlier you're not exactly familiar with this circuit compared to a lot of others. But that's another one maybe ticked off the list there in regards to how the track works for these drivers in these particular machines.
Yeah, I tell you what, tonight was it was a little educational, and it was also I felt like some really good racing. Every single race we had a good multi-lap battle, and some of them were 3, 4, even 5 cars at times. I don't know how much more you could ask for than that. We've got last lap passes, or with a lap to go. I mean, we had everything you can ask for tonight. It was all around good show. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it as well, and a shout out to Paul and May again for winning race 1. Mike Boost on taking wins number 2, and races 2 and 3. Huge shout out as well for Jack Veazey and Ben Underdown as well, actually, for putting good performances. Will we see them in pros? Well, I think it's definitely safe to say it's Jack Veazey who'll be in there. Will we see Ben Underdown in there as well? I hope so, because I think he's got the pace to take it out. And he can only get better by testing it out with better drivers. Jim, thank you very much for joining me. And thank you to everyone that's tuned in. Do make sure you like and subscribe to the JP Broadcasting YouTube channel. And you keep right up to date with all of the streams that are being broadcast on the channel. And you won't miss a thing. It's time to wrap it up. We'll do it all again in 7 days' time at Imola. I am Tom Cairns with Jim Cunningham, and we'll speak to you again soon when the Radical SR8 Championship returns.